Yeah, the goal is basically scale Mint now as big as possible. Like I'm trying to grow that thing to 100 million, and then if we want to grow another home service business, we'll just let Citrus follow.
Welcome to the Home Service Chad podcast, the show for home service entrepreneurs who don't just want to make money, but who also want to build elite lives and create impact. Each week, Louis sits down with high performers in home services to uncover the secrets to their success. No fluff, no shortcuts, just real conversations with those doing the work. Now, here's your host, Louis Moucher.
Alrighty, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Home Service Chat podcast. Today I've got a home service legend in the house. He's the founder of Hive Home Service. Most of you guys probably know him for his main company, Mint Cleaning. More importantly though, he's trying to elevate the standard in the home service industry and build the biggest window washing company in the nation. Today I've got my boy Gatlin McBride in the house. Gatlin, bro. What's up, dog?
What's up, dude? Thanks for having me. That was a better intro than I deserve, but appreciate it.
No worries, bro. So I think most people on here, like, we've got pretty similar audiences, I feel like. So most people probably know, a little bit about you. You guys have been kind of blowing up on YouTube. But for anyone who doesn't know you and like Mint and what you guys are doing, can you just kind of give everyone a rundown of, the backstory and stuff like that?
Like from the beginning?
Yeah, we can go from the beginning, 100%.
All right. I guess long story short, I grew up in Arizona. Grew up in a family of all boys. Mom and dad, pretty solid family. No sisters. And the cool thing is both my parents always did their own thing. And so I think growing up, I always knew that I was going to run my own business, but I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. And I'm like the classic, like, had my lemonade and cookie stand kind of kid, like trying to find ways to make money growing up. And nothing really ever clicked for me. And I think at the time, it's a lot different for like you and your generation. You guys have so much access, like being entrepreneurs. For me at the time when I was like in my teens or like once I got out of high school, it wasn't normal to start a window cleaning company or start a company in general. And so I didn't really have any guidance or like any reassurance that I could do my thing until I was 18. Like I always thought like once I graduate high school, once I'm 18, I can start something, which I think is a cool shift that's happened now. But anyways, always knew I was going to do my own thing. Ended up working for my dad for a little bit, who owns like an aerospace engineering shop, which sounds more fancy than it actually is, but he just like makes metal parts for things. And it was like the most boring job, dude. Like I would just look at the clock literally what it was I would sit in front of a machine. I would put a piece of metal in, I would click a button, the machine would do all the work. I'd sit there for 2 minutes, and then when it was done, I'd open the door, take out the piece, put another piece in, and then like do it again. And I'm not exaggerating, over a summer I would do like 50,000 of the same part. Just like over and over and over again. I would just like look at the clock. This was like high school or right after high school. It was like my summer job that I would do. And dude, the biggest thing that I realized I couldn't have a job was if I hated working for my dad, I think I was gonna hate working for other people. So I figured I'd need to do my own thing. So basically saved up my money from that and kind of built like a pressure washing trailer. My original plan was I wanted to do trash can cleaning, which has kind of like popped up more now, but at the time it was like very, very fresh. So that was the original plan. Built like this kind of ghetto pressure washing trailer / trash can cleaning trailer. And then I actually didn't do a single job. I was working on it the night before I left on my mission. I served a mission for the LDS church. And I went to Mexico City, but I left my pressure washing trailer to my older brother Steele. And I was like, dude, if you do $10,000 while I'm gone, keep in mind, I was going to be gone for 2 years. So I was like, if you do 10K while I'm gone, we can go 50-50. And at the time, I mean, I thought 10K was $1 million, right? So I was like, I thought that was a fair trade-off. Looking back at it now, I was like, 10K is not really that much. But left for 2 years, came back, and in the time that I was gone, he basically started doing, at the time he was doing restoration. And so he was doing restoration, kind of like window cleaning, pressure washing on the side. And then when I got back, he kind of went all in and we're like, hey, let's make this thing happen. And yeah, dude, we kind of went all in. He was doing a little bit of pressure washing, and then how we got into window cleaning was he's pressure washing people's houses, making the windows dirty. Everyone's asking him if he knows how to clean windows. And then he's like, yeah, looked it up on YouTube, watched all the basic, like the OG guys, like Steve-O, the window cleaner, Luke, like we've all heard, like he watched all those videos and then he taught me how to do it. And then we just realized that window cleaning was there was more demand for it. And so we kind of went all in on that.
You think there's more demand, like just in general, or in Arizona?
No, it's probably,
dry, eh?
it's specifically for Arizona. Yeah. Like I was watching all these YouTube videos on pressure washing.
Yeah.
And in Arizona, you don't pressure wash because there's no organic growth. It's all just dry. And so you're basically pressure washing dirt off of things. And so
There's no soft.
the demand for window cleaning in Arizona, I would say, is a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But
do you think
So, yeah, dude.
is that similar in Utah, or is there like organic stuff?
no, it's very similar in Utah.
Super dry.
Yeah, no, pressure washing and soft washing in Utah, again, it's all like dirt. There's not a whole lot of chemical. There's no organic growth. Like we don't do roof washes or anything like that. It's just window cleaning, pressure washing, and pressure washing is just like rinsing off the house.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, dude, that's kind of it. I mean, that's kind of the story. And then like how we got into what we want to do now is like me and Steele, my older brother, we were just in people's houses being normal dudes and like communicating well, wearing clean, like being clean, showing up in a decent truck. And people were like amazed that we were just normal dudes, that they felt comfortable in their home. And that's when we were kind of like, okay, home service, if we're just doing basic stuff like being a good person, being able to communicate and like doing a good job, like there's a big opportunity here. And so, and then, yeah, I mean, from there, basically I moved to Utah. I wanted to go to school, gave the branch to my older brother, Steele. He still runs that branch. And then started our Utah location when I was in school. I wanted to go to school for some reason. So went to school for 6 months, was there for a semester, dropped out, and then just went all in on Mint. And then
In Utah.
yeah, in Utah, yeah.
So you
And then
started
that's
Mint fresh in Utah.
Yeah, from scratch. It was like part-time for 6 months when I was in college, and then yeah, once I dropped out, I just was like, I'm going all in. So
What's up, bro? How much does like all the Mint locations do right now?
combined, I don't really operate, like me and my brother don't, he kind of just runs the Arizona branch, so I don't really do much there. I think they do, so in Utah we did 2 million last year. Our Las Vegas location that we started in December does like 20K a month right now. And then, I mean, in Arizona, I think they do like 450.
Nice.
So,
Can you give everyone like a rundown of like Hive and everything
Yeah.
that's going on there, and like
Yeah.
because you got a lot of stuff going, bro, and I'm like, yeah,
yeah. So originally my plan was because so my original thought was it would be easier to own a market and start multiple companies within the same market and basically just cross market all of my services to different clients, right? So I was like, cool. If we had a window cleaning company, a carpet cleaning company, and a car detailing company, we would just grow them all at the same rate because we could just use all the same clients. So we started Mint first. That was in 2018. A year later, I started Pepper with my best friend. A year, and then 2 years later, I believe it was 2 years later, we started Citrus, which is our carpet cleaning company. Going into that though, I think a lot of people have a similar vision. Like a lot of people want to build like a hive, which I think is funny because everyone kind of has the same vision. What I realized though is the importance of focus, and like doing 3 things at once is really not the best idea. So my original thought of owning a market, starting multiple companies in the same market wasn't a good move. What I've learned now is it's easier to start one company in multiple markets versus like the multiple companies in a single market, because when you start a single company, you can copy and paste things. So like for example, for Mint, if I want to start 10 locations, I can use the same ads, I can use the same branding, I can use the same door hangers, yard signs, truck wraps, all of the company like swag that we use, all of this stuff is copy and paste. Whereas when you start another company, you have to start all that again, plus you have to learn another service. And then you have to redo all your training manuals. Like it's a nightmare. So what we've done now, and the Hive still exists, but I actually gave 100% of the car detailing company to my friend so he could just run it. So I don't own any, like we still cross market, but I don't have any ownership in Pepper, but like 100% of my support, right? I'm just trying to focus. And then Citrus, not that it's taken the back seat. Like Citrus still does really well. It'll probably do like 750K this year in year 3. But it's nothing crazy. But we put a manager in place. We have an office manager in place, and Citrus is very, very hands off now. And being fully transparent with Citrus, it's not very profitable. So like we could make it profitable, but basically we kind of like put that on the back burner. Let's make it run itself. It'll slowly grow. And it'll be really, really profitable once it's about $1 million. So like going into next year, we'll probably run a 25% profit margin. Going into, sorry, what?
What's it at right now?
It's at like it'll do like 750 this year.
But like the bottom line?
We run like a 5% margin. It's pretty low because the fixed expenses are so high with the carpet cleaning company. Like the truck payment and the equipment payment is way higher. And we have 2 vans. We have a full-time office girl because I don't want to manage it. And so like that's expensive. Whereas usually at that stage in the business, you'd probably be doing the office work and the sales. Yeah. And then we have a manager in place that we pay as well that can manage it. So like in order for it to be more hands-off, it runs a very low margin because we've replaced ourselves. But we're good with that because like we're trying to make our money from Mint. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the goal is basically scale Mint now as big as possible. Like I'm trying to grow that thing to 100 million. And then if we want to grow another home service business, we'll just let Citrus follow. But so we're not trying to grow them both at the same time.
Yeah. In the future though, like once you run up Mint, you'd maybe bring the other ones along?
If I wanted to do that again, then yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. Looking back though, you would have just focused straight up on Mint.
Oh, dude. So many people. I would even argue the fact that I regret starting pressure washing.
Okay.
Like I think the importance of focus is such a big thing, and you can build $1 million to $3 million window cleaning company alone, no other services, just like interior, exterior, screens, tracks. That's it. Yeah. And so it's like as soon as you add other services, it adds complexity. And I think there's a lot of guys out there that want to raise their average ticket to be as high as possible, which I think is fine. But at scale, if I'm trying to have 100 locations, it has to be as simple as possible. So I'm like, what is the simplest service? Window cleaning. And what can I do on a recurring basis? Recurring. Window cleaning. And so I'm very much like low ticket recurring, simplicity at scale. Like that's like my philosophy.
Yeah. Are you guys going to cut out pressure or?
No, we'll keep pressure washing. I think we just started too early. Okay. We probably shouldn't have done pressure washing until like this year, but we did it when we added pressure washing in year 3 when we were doing like 800,000.
Yeah.
But we already do it, so it's fine. But
yeah. Cause dude, we added pressure. Like I got a trailer last year, and like, dude, our up here it's like super, super dry. So there's no point in soft washing anything. And it's maybe like 10% of our revenue. And the other problem too is like, I don't know, we had a trailer, and so I didn't really want anyone driving trailers around. We didn't have a
trailers are scary, dude.
Yeah, I was like pretty much had to be on every job because my truck was towing the trailer, and I'm like, dude, I don't know if it's worth it. And then we just got window vans, which are super easy, windows, gutters, in and out.
Yep. The thing though with pressure washing that I do want to mention, because I know you probably have some younger guys on this, is it like that advice of like simplicity at scale applies to at scale. So for example, I'm trying to have 100 locations. So I need to make it as simple as possible. But if your goal is to just run a window cleaning company in your market and you have a smaller market, it's not bad to add pressure washing after a certain amount of time. Like for example, in Utah, we have 2 million people, and so there's plenty of room to grow window cleaning. But if you're in a market where there's only 100,000 people in it, you probably want to figure out window cleaning, and then you can add pressure washing, and you can still get your business to like 500,000 to $1 million with those services, because it all has to do with market size, and it also has to do with your goals. Like I'm trying to go multi-location. If you're trying to say single location, local market, adding other services isn't bad, but you just have to make sure that you're doing it like at a smart time. Like don't try to add it all at once, because it adds so much complexity to like training, to scale.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it's not bad. It just depends on your market and like your goals.
Yeah. I'm thinking for us, because like my plans because we got like a skid on the truck now with the whole pressure washing system. And
Okay.
we've got 2 window vans up in
Okay.
Whitehorse. And my plan's to move to a different city down south where there's more humidity in 2 months,
Okay.
just so we can work longer. And so I'm thinking we're probably going to do pressure there, and just start like fresh and just do like all the exterior cleaning stuff. But and then just keep Whitehorses like just straight windows and gutters, so that it can, it's super easy for the guys to train and stuff like that. There's no like gas.
You're gonna start a different company.
We're gonna grow Arctic Shine, or like we're gonna open Arctic Shine down in BC.
Okay. Cool.
Because dude, otherwise it's like, yeah, we work 5-6 months, and then it's like, what do I do in the winter, right?
Yeah.
I just want to travel, which was fire. That's what I did last year, but yeah. And so I'm gonna kind of make that other town where I'm moving to, the other big city, like the main location.
Okay, gotcha.
It's kind of what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
dude. So first off, I mean, traveling's great. So like, if people want to do that during the winter, that's fine. I think Bali Louis and Miami Louis were some of my favorite Louis, dude. So I think that's really good. But I think you like honing that in would be like honing in on the winter is super important, because you can actually build something that can scale. One thing with that I think can help is there's like there's a couple of different models with home service. 2 that I really like is there's low ticket recurring, and then there's high ticket service to sales. So the cool thing with exterior cleaning is you can do both. So to give you a perspective of low ticket recurring, window cleaning. You get people on quarterlies, you get people on biennials, you make it simple, good to go. You just scale through. The more plans that you add, the bigger your company grows. The other model is service to sales. This is what we do with Citrus. So Citrus basically book all of our guys $1,000 a day. The expectation is that they show up to the home, do a walkthrough with the client, and they upsell at least 30%. So we expect our guys to do 1,500, but we only schedule them 1,000.
Okay.
So the thing with carpet cleaning, it's a little bit easier because the client has to be home for us to do it, so we can almost always upsell. The model that we're moving to now for Mint, and this is what we're going to add to window cleaning markets once we break $1 million, is the service to sales side. So for example, this is something that we're implementing in Utah, could be something interesting for you in the market, is we do the recurring window cleaning. And like, to clarify, I think a lot of people in window cleaning try to sell packages instead of plans. And so what we do is sell the plan first and then upsell services after, instead of trying to sell package and plan at the same time. So basically the idea is get people in the door. I pitch a service plan. I get people in at the low ticket recurring. Yeah. And then when we show up, our technicians upsell the pressure washing, the soft washing, the gutter cleaning. And the reason why that's so great is because we do all of our quotes over the phone. And window cleaning is really easy to quote over the phone, whereas those other services are really easy to get wrong over the phone. So when our technicians are in person, they can upsell it and they can actually make the price correct. So anyways, we're outfitting some of our trucks. We have some hybrid trucks, and we're looking at like simplifying our hybrid trucks to where they can even fit in like a Colorado, so they're pretty small. But same thing is like window cleaning setup and pressure washing setup. They show up for the recurring window cleaning, and every single time they show up, they try to upsell those high ticket services. And the idea is, can they sell over 30% more in revenue? And like, just to give you some examples, is like last month, we just implemented this, and only a few of our technicians are upselling, and 18% of our revenue last month was from upsells. So like, it works.
Yeah.
But anyways. Yeah, or it's like, if your guys are booked out, they don't upsell, and if they have a slower day, then they upsell a lot. Like it kind of allows your guys, it puts more power in your guys' hands to make the money that they want to make, even if you don't have like booked out work all day every day.
What commission do you guys give them commission on the upsell?
Yeah, so our guys like to keep things simple, because I mean, it's a little bit more complex than this, but like basically our guys make 20% of revenue, and then we pay them an additional 20% for the services that they upsell. The reason being is because our marketing cost is usually around 20% on initials. So if I can pay that to my technician instead of paying it to Google or Facebook, I'd much rather do that.
Yeah. All right.
So like they can literally make they make 40% of all the upsells that they do, or more, which is crazy.
Ours is pretty similar, but it's 25 for the revenue and then 15 for the upsell.
Okay, cool. So overall, it's the same.
Because I think we talked about this, but like we're just starting to do P4P and like commission instead of hourly. Dude, we had a guy make $650 the other day. We had him booked for like a K, and then he upsold 600, 150 tip. I'm like, bro, this is what's up.
Yeah, dude, same thing, dude. I have multiple technicians making like $50 an hour because of upsells, their commission, and then tips. It's crazy.
Fine.
No college degree, little training, making crazy money.
Yeah. Dude, so I want to talk about plans for like anyone listening, because like you've kind of sold me on plans, you know, and just like the whole idea of plans and the power of it. But can you kind of run everyone through like why plans and like the recurring revenue and you know how it like adds up over the years, that thing with your YouTube video?
Yeah, so dude, service plans is super powerful. We implemented service plans in year 3, and the biggest, or I guess we started them in year 2, but we saw the fruits of it in year 3. So to give people some perspective of like the power of the growth is we did 160 in our first year, 320 the second year, and then we did 860 the third year. And the biggest thing that we implemented was in year 2, we did plans. So basically all the jobs that we sold in year 2, we got them almost all on quarterlies. So the next year we were able to more than double because we increased our marketing, but then we also had all the plans from the past year. So a lot of times window cleaners get stuck at about $350,000 to $500,000 a year because realistically in a normal market, you will max out paid ads at basically anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 a month. And so you can't just keep scaling ads. I mean, you could, but your cost per lead will go through the roof. And so from our perspective and what we think is the most I want to spend on a customer is $30 because we have about a 30 to 40% conversion rate. What that allows us to do is keep our cost to acquire a customer anywhere from $75 to $90. That's about as high as I want to go, right? The reason why I'm getting into ad side, it's important is because like you'll max out your ad spend. So anytime you try to go past that, so say you wanted to scale past 30,000 or past 50,000 depending on your market size, your cost per lead will start to increase and it starts to be less and less profitable. So I want to keep my cost per lead right there so I know I'm still being profitable on jobs while still scaling through plans. Now, that being said, the model that we go through now is, and we're doing this in our Vegas location, is how do we get to $20,000 a month as fast as possible with new jobs through our marketing through our marketing avenues. And then it's not scale ads and scale marketing, it's stay at $20,000 a month in new work and stack service plans. And the idea is if you can land 25% on quarterlies and 25% of people on biannuals, you should be able to add anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a month in recurring work for the next year. So for example, in our Vegas location, it's basically an entire technician worth of work. So what this allows you to do is every 6 months to a year, you can just add a technician. And so I think a big problem that people have is when do I add a technician? I don't know. It's like when you add a technician is when you have enough recurring work to keep that technician busy. So we always know we can keep one technician busy through new work through our marketing avenues. And then as we scale plans, we just add technicians. So for example, in Vegas, we're doing $20,000 a month right now. By the end of year 1, we should have about $20,000 a month in recurring work. So that means going into next year, like no matter what, we're going to do $480,000 the second year because half of that's already booked. Yeah. And then going into the next year, ideally we add another $20,000, so we would scale by another $250,000 and then $250,000. And so if you do that for 4 years in a row, because like simple math, if you add $20,000 in recurring work every year, that's $240,000. You do that for 4 years, you built $1 million window cleaning company, and 3/4 of your work is recurring, and it's already on the books.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and there's no marketing.
I think a lot of people want to build a window cleaning company or $1 million window cleaning company in like a year. It's like, dude, just wait 4 years, be consistent, and you have $1 million thing. It just takes time.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Another kind of, this is kind of off topic, this is more operation stuff, but I want to ask you, bro, why, like, you guys obviously you run 410s with one-man crews. If you guys ever ran 2 crews?
2-man crews?
Yeah, and like why you guys chose one man.
Yeah, dude, two man's tough, bro. I think everyone starts off thinking like 2 men would be ideal because like what if we have bigger jobs that need 2 guys on the job? One of the things I hear a lot is, and we thought this exact same thing, is people will just be happier being with someone else. Like the work is hard, being by yourself is lonely, so if there's 2 of them, it makes the job more bearable. Yeah. And it's kind of true, but like what I've seen is if you just pay people twice as much money, they'd much rather do that than be with someone else. So the problems that we saw with 2-man crews, the first one is you never know who caused a problem on the job. So if a window was missed or anything like that, there's always going to be pointing fingers. Even if you have a senior tech and a junior tech, the senior tech will always just be like, give me a new junior tech, and the junior tech will always be like, well, the senior tech's in charge. So they're always going to be pointing fingers. And windows get missed all the time because there's a lack of communication. Like, if they don't, they basically have to game plan the job, and if they don't game plan the job properly, one guy's going to think that someone did the sliding glass door, and then the other guy thinks the other guy did it too, and then just gets missed. So that's one thing. The other thing is lost equipment. Lost equipment is very easy to just not pinpoint, that sounds like aggressive, but it's easy to know who did it if it's just one guy on the job. Whereas if there's 2 guys, very easy to lose equipment because, again, the other guy thinks the other guy is going to pack up. And yeah, you can put checks and balances in place like these are the responsibilities of the junior tech, this is the responsibility of the senior tech, but it still gets messy. The third thing is drive time, and this is probably the biggest thing, is say on average you have an hour worth of drive time between all of your jobs. Well, I guess that's at our, say there's 30 minutes drive time between every job. If you do 8 jobs in a day with 4 technicians, that's what? 4 hours with the drive time? 30 minutes times, 4 hours, right?
Yeah, 8 jobs, yeah.
I might be doing the math wrong. You might have to watch this back. If people are watching this and I'm like, Gatlin's an idiot, say it in the comments. But anyways, there's a lot of drive time if you're doing 8 jobs. If you split those jobs up, the jobs take twice as long, but now the technicians have half the drive time.
Yeah.
So it literally can cut your drive time in half, or like your drive time hours, like your hours in the truck per technician, just by splitting them up. And then I guess another thing with 2-man crews that we realized that kind of sucks is, there was one more thing and I'm blanking it. It'll probably come to me. But anyways, let's just go with those ones for now.
Yeah, but mostly they can make more money. It's obviously more efficient.
Oh, sorry, this was the thing that I was going to say, is if you allow, a lot of times when you have 2-man crews and there's like a senior and a junior tech, it allows you to kind of have a cop-out of hiring bad technicians because you can just put them with a good technician, and you're like, okay, I'm good. But if you know that they're going to be by themselves, it raises your standard of the person that you hire.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of guys that like, you just think that, they're like, oh, they're good enough, I'll put them with Jason, and Jason will just like babysit them. The problem is that bad technician slows down the technician. So what we realized when we switched to commission, we had this one technician that had been with us for a year, and they were doing about $1,200 a day, him and another technician. And the technician that we put in with was usually pretty bad. We're like, hey, we're gonna try 1-man crews out. And so we put him out by himself the next day. He did $1,600 by himself. Okay. So what we realized was the crappy technician was just slowing him down. Yeah. It wasn't helping him at all.
Yeah.
So
what would you do, what was the comp structure for 2-man crews? Was it like just straight down the middle, or were they hourly?
It was hourly. We used to run hourly back then, yeah.
Okay, weird. But yeah, we were running 2-mans for a little bit, and then we lost some guys, and then it was like, dude, they ended up, now they're doing like, you know, $1,200 a day just by himself.
Yeah.
And yeah, my dad's one of our technicians, and he's like, dude,
really? Your dad worked for you?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. That's sick.
Yeah, dude, he does like $1,500 in a day though. It's just like a workhorse. So.
Heck yeah.
Dude, we're about like halfway here, bro. So I want to kind of get into the like where you guys are going and stuff like that, and you know the vision that you've got, and like the school group and all that stuff, and the YouTube, because I think that's big. That's how I found you. That's how probably most people found you.
Heck yeah, dude.
I know you guys are definitely like, dude, I've been getting a lot of messages, or like when I mentioned you on my story there, people are like, yo, mint cleaning. So, yeah, y'all are definitely doing big stuff, but.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. Do you want to kind of like go into that, like why you guys started YouTube? What you guys are doing with the school and the technician games? Because like, dude, this is super cool stuff, man.
Cool, bro.
Yeah, y'all are like moving. You're moving different, bro.
We're trying, bro.
Which is why I'm like trying to get around you, you know?
Yeah. Dude, we're just trying to be around you. It was so funny, dude. We'll get into it. But the funniest thing was when you joined the group and you jumped on the first call. And a lot of those guys are like younger than probably 25. And everyone's like, bro, Louis in here? And everyone's freaking out. They're like fangirling that you were on the call. Like more than them being on the call with me. They're like, Louis on here. It was so funny. But I mean, dude, you deserve it too. Like you built an incredible personal brand on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Like I knew about you way before you knew about me. So give yourself the flowers. But yeah, dude, to get into like our model, I think I've always had a big vision of where we want to take this thing. For some reason, I've always had the number of 50 million. Now with what we're doing, I've kind of raised that bar a little bit, and we're nowhere close. Like, dude, we did 2 million last year. So, which can sound big, but in reality, when you break 1 million, that's when you actually get to start playing the game of entrepreneurship. I think anything below that, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like the game starts to be played at 1 million. And so that's when it like kind of opened my eyes when I hit that. But if any,
like it just.
what I mean.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
I think at 1 million, yeah, no, I think at 1 million you start to have the resources to replace yourself from the day to day, and you can actually like truly start building a business instead of being in the business, right? Now, that sounds super cliche, but like I'm pretty hands off when it comes to the day to day, and so it enables me to solve a lot bigger problems. But up until like when you're getting to 1 million, it's basically like you're accumulating the resources to replace yourself, and you're building the skills that you need to actually play the game. And then I think 1 million is like graduation. It's like you have the skills, you have a little bit of a team, you have the resources, welcome. And so it's like, I don't know if that explains it.
Yeah.
But this is in no way like trashing on entrepreneurs doing less than 1 million. Like you have to go through that stage. I'm just saying like that's like the incubator. Like you have to pay your dues to get to 1 million, and like once you've broken 1 million, it means like you've paid your dues enough to play the game. But until then, like you got to earn it. Like we've all been there, or we are all there still, and that's fine.
Oh, man,
But like, dude, you get it. Like you're developing the skills, you're building a team. Like the only reason why you're not doing $1 million is because you just don't know how yet, and you probably need a little bit of time, which is fine. Like it took me 5 years. Well, it took us 4 years to break 1 million. But anyways, yeah. Getting into like what we're trying to build, I guess, is once we broke 2 million, we're like, okay, finally, I think we have our systems figured out enough to where we can scale this thing. Also, before that, keep in mind, I think my belief was I wanted to start multiple companies, and I think getting into year 4 and 5 was where I was like, okay, I'm just going to go all in on Mint. So as we decide we're going to go all in on Mint, we're like, how do we take this thing to 100 million? If you're going to build 100 million, honestly, if you're going to build any company above probably 10 million in home service, you are going to have multiple locations. So the game went from like, how do we grow our Mint location to be as big as possible to how do we drop down as many locations profitably as possible? And so I started thinking about our constraints, right? And the biggest constraints that we had was capital and talent. To give you an example, when we went to Vegas, we dropped down a location. It cost us money, and we needed a manager in place. Luckily, we had Big Mike, and Big Mike is an absolute stud. He was with us for a year here in Utah, moved to Vegas, and now he runs our Vegas location. The problem with that is we had been in business for 5 years, and we had found one person that was good enough, not good enough, because we have a couple technicians that are capable of doing this, but that also wanted to relocate to another state and start a business. because it's a big ask. So like if I wanted to do 100 million, say I needed 100 locations and I needed 100 managers, if I did it at the pace that we're currently doing it at, every 5 years I would find a big mic. So by the time I get to 100 like locations, I would be dead.
500 years.
Yeah, it'd take 500 years. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be around that long. So let's try to figure out how to make this faster, right? So again, I'm trying to solve these constraints of like, the constraint with that was talent and capital. So then we started looking into franchising. I paid $30,000 for an FDA, legally Mint can franchise now. But getting into franchising, there's a lot of negative sides I think a lot of people don't see. Now there's a lot of positive too, because the nice thing with franchising, it solves those two constraints. People come to you to start a branch and they pay you money to start the branch, which is awesome. So that's why like companies are able to scale super quickly through franchising. Now, the two things that I see that are negative with franchising is you're making 8% of revenue on those locations that you're dropping. So I did the math. If I wanted to get to 100 million, or no, let's use smaller numbers to make the math easier. Say I wanted to profit $2 million, right? If I ran 10 corporate locations at a 20% margin, I would make 2 million. For me to make the same amount of money in franchising, I would need 50 locations.
And that'd be 8%.
8% of revenue. Yeah. It's like if you make 8% of revenue, depending on the size of those locations, but usually franchises are usually a lot smaller, so it's like anywhere from 400 to 800,000. If you do the math on it, you need 50 locations to make the same amount of money. And so I was like, cool, neither one is easier. It's just like pick your heart. The next thing that I don't like about franchising is you basically turn in, you're not really running a home service business anymore. You basically turn into a high ticket sales business. You're just trying to sell as many locations as possible. Now, good franchises are very good at supporting their franchisees, and there's some good franchises out there, right? Like they exist. But I didn't want to become a high ticket sales and a support system for franchisees. I wanted to build a home service business. And so like, I realized that franchising didn't align with what I wanted to do. So the other thing with franchising that I don't like is it favors the franchisee a lot more than the person that actually owns the entirety of the franchise. So what happens with that, was that?
Like
Legally, franchises are built to protect the franchisee, because a lot of times people that are buying franchises are investing like their entire life savings and they're very invested in it. And if you sell them something bad, then they just got screwed over. So they're built to like protect that. The problem with it though is you basically meet these people and it becomes a vetting game. And if you vet someone incorrectly and they're bad, you're locked into a 10-year contract with them. And so it's like the last thing that I wanted is it's usually a 10-year contract. Yeah. So the last thing that I want to do with Mint and what I've seen with franchising is they scale so fast that it's really, really hard to vet the people that you're bringing into the franchise. And usually the integrity of the brand gets extremely diluted because you're scaling so quickly. Like you probably don't remember this because you're young, but like, dude, when I was like 10, Wendy's was so good. Like Wendy's was like 5-star, but like now Wendy's is kind of trash. Okay. And so it's like the quality just like got really bad. And so I don't want Mint to be the Wendy's of home service. I want Mint to be the freaking Rolex of home service. That's a bad analogy because I want it to be the Roos Chris of home service.
That's
so
what
anyways,
Noah talks about, bro. Because he obviously went the like the corporate expansion route, and he's like, yeah, we could have done franchising, but and he's still saying he might do it, but he's like, yeah, you just don't, like one guy does something bad, it's on the whole country finds out about it, and it's like then suddenly all the franchisees get hit from that one franchisee.
Yep.
You know?
Yep, it ruins the brand. So yeah, dude, that's why now I think we came up with like a very interesting model, and I don't think it's something that's been done in the window cleaning space. I think it's similar to like what the Tommy Mellos of the world are doing, but it's a little bit different. So what I want to do is basically I want to take everything that and this is what we're currently doing, is take everything that we're going to give a franchise, like how we do our marketing, how we set up our CRM, basically everything besides the brand, and we put it into our school community, the idea with that is, can we just teach our systems to as many window cleaners as possible? And then the guys that are the cream of the crop, the guys that are doing $500,000 to $1 million, I figure out a way to partner with them. And so if I wanted to get to 100 million, it becomes a lot faster. Instead of trying to find 100, like start 100 corporate locations or find 100 franchisees, I get to basically vet everyone trying out my systems. And the guys that are good, we figure out how to work together. Yeah. And so if I want to do 100 million, I just help 100 window cleaners get to 100 or get to $1 million. Then we all team up and we create the biggest window cleaning company in the nation.
Yeah, that's what's
so.
Up. And would these guys like run as Mint or they're like current company?
I think some of them can be Mint and some of them will be their own. We've kind of talked about this, but yeah. So the first thing to be able to pull this off is you need a platform company. So me scaling through this in no way is me trying not to build Mints. The biggest thing that I always say is there's guys out there that are building courses that are selling coaching, which is totally great. And like, it helps people in the home service industry. So like, I support it, but I'm not trying to build a course. I'm not trying to build a coaching company. I'm trying to build my window cleaning company to be the biggest window cleaning company in the nation, like fully transparent, right? Now, the way that I do that is Mint has to be the model. So we're still going to scale corporately. My goal is still to get to Mint to corporately owned locations, anywhere from 10 to 20 million. Now, on the side of that, which is like the school community and developing talent, because the school community can also solve our problem of capital and talent because people are coming to us and they're paying me money, but we get to try them out first. Yeah, but honestly, all the money that we make from the school, we just reinvest back into the group and like things that we're doing with Mint. So like, I'm not pocketing the money. I'll probably pocket some for sure. But so this is kind of the model that we're following with that of like, do you rebrand, do you not? Say I teach you my systems and you build Arctic Shine for the next 4 years and you have an incredible brand in your area. To then partner with me and well, first off, you don't even need to partner with me because you're doing $1 million, you're making great money. Why would you partner with me? So that's the first thing. The second thing is you've built a brand in your area. Everyone knows who you are. If we came in and rebranded you as Mint, everyone would be like, who is Mint and what happened to Arctic Shine? Yeah. So it'd be really dumb. So there's a model I think is really, really interesting. There's a company here in Utah called Any Hour. They're basically doing something called the Any Hour Group. And they do HVAC, electrical, plumbing. And they scaled from 70 million to 500 million in the past 3 years, which is crazy growth. And the way that they did it was they went the private equity route and they go through and buy home service companies, but instead of just buying them out completely and rebranding them, they buy them, and then the money that they use to buy the company and the person that received it, so let's use Arctic Shine for an example. Say you're doing 50 million, or say I'm doing 50 million, you're doing $1 million. I buy your company, you take that money that I give you, and you reinvest it back into the entirety of my group, and now you are part owner of all of the companies that I own. So now we're business partners. The thing that's super powerful though.
A private equity group, pretty much.
Basically, yeah. So the cool thing is they own a couple different brands in the Utah market. So, and they're like the top HVAC electrical plumbing companies in Utah, and they've done this in multiple states. So basically they own the 4 best HVAC companies in Utah. All of the clients that need HVAC quotes, they get quotes from these same 4 companies, and the companies don't care who gets the job because they're all business partners. And so what they're able to do is they basically build a monopoly where on the front end they have the benefit of support local small business with local operators, but the powerhouse back end of a corporate system. And they're all just working together and they basically create a monopoly and no one knows. And so I'm like, cool, can we create the biggest window cleaning company in the nation and no one knows? Now, some people will turn into Mint locations for sure, but the idea is, can we partner up with the best brands in every single location and we all just work together? And on the front end, clients don't know, but we are all exactly the same. We're all working together. Because for me, I'd rather not babysit 100 franchisees. I'd rather work with 100 guys that are just crazy good entrepreneurs. And yeah, I would probably take a smaller piece of the pie, but I'd rather have that. Like, I'd rather work with high caliber talent and we just all have each other's back and we know what we're doing rather than me like babysitting 100 to 200 people.
Yeah. This is kind of like a tough question, bro, but what's in it for the, like, because obviously in the example of like Any Hour, the Any Hour group buys the small company, so they give they give them a bunch of money, and then it's probably a part of the contract or whatever. They put it back into any hour. They own a piece of any hour. That's what you guys would be like. That's what you're kind of thinking, and so that's what would be in it for the small companies.
Like why would they partner?
Yeah.
So a couple things. First thing is shared resources. So have you ever heard of like there's something called the economies of scale?
Yeah.
It's like the bigger you are,
Right.
basically like giving an example of like the economies of scale, it's just benefits that you get as you scale is if we have 100 locations, we can negotiate pricing of trucks, skids, wraps, equipment, like all that stuff we can negotiate down. So same thing, softwares, all this stuff. So we can run more profitable businesses because we can lower our expenses as a group. That's one thing. The other thing is there's other shared resources that we would be building. For example, you can't afford to have a full-time content marketing team. But if there's 50 to 100 locations, give you an example of what Any Hour does. Dude, they have a studio in their warehouse and they'll shoot an ad. And if that ad does really, really well, they have every single uniform from every single company that they own and they reshoot that ad 50 times and they just send out the ads to everyone. So they have an in-house content team. Like, again, it's a shared resource. As an individual business, it would make no sense for you to pay for that. But combined, we can all afford it together, right?
Yeah.
So there's multiple things like that. Same thing with like design. They have an entire design team. They run out an every door direct mail campaign. It works for Any Hour here in Utah. They copy and paste that design, but change it for all of the different brands and send out the every door direct mail campaigns for all of the companies. So there's so many different shared resources. Same thing, like they have a call center for all of the, for all the after hours and everything. So they cover the call center. So it's basically like building all of these resources that it would make no sense for a business smaller than $1 million to be building for themselves. But we can build it because we're doing 50 million, all of us together.
Right.
Like we can build the call center, we can build the marketing team, we can build the design team, we can build all these things and we just all share it. So huge benefit. The other thing, like on the financial side, is to give every one of the listeners like a little bit of, dang, one sec, my computer's about to die. Let me plug this in. I should have prepped for this, dude. It's milking my battery. To give everyone like a mini private equity, and I'm no private equity expert, so this is just what I've learned from like YouTube videos and podcasts and stuff, so I'm probably a little bit wrong on this, but the overall idea is correct, is your company can sell for a percentage of profit or EBITDA, but to keep EBITDA simple, just say it's profit, right? It's a fancy way of finding like what your true profit is. You can basically sell for a multiple of your profit. So, but as you grow your company to be bigger, that multiple increases because your business becomes more and more reliable and just worth more money. So, for example, I'm just going to use easy numbers. These are not the true numbers of what companies are worth, but I'm just going to give an example. Is say you're doing $1 million and you're running a 25% profit margin. You're making $250,000 a year in profit. If you were to try to sell your business, you can most likely sell it for a 1 to 3x multiple of your business, of your profit. So say your business, you do $1 million, it's probably worth $500,000. Now for you to sell it for $500,000, it'd be really dumb because you could just work for 2 years and make the $500,000. Whereas if you sold it, then you have no money, you make $500,000 and you have no business. So the reason why the multiple is lower is because the likelihood of you having systems is pretty low. You probably don't have upper level management in place. And that's basically it. It's like you're probably the business at this point. That's why it's not worth a lot of money. As you grow your business, you increase your team, you increase your systems, you increase your capital, your business starts to become worth more and more money. So for example, now if you're doing 50 million and you're running the same profit margin, especially with window cleaning recurring, because recurring is worth a lot more money because it's more reliable. But with a recurring model at 50 million, the business is now worth 10 to 20x what your profit is. So to do the math, your business is worth 2x and say mine is worth 10. If you partner up with me, your business is now worth 5 times more and it's exactly the same, but it's because we're together now.
Yeah. No,
so that's why we would team up.
Yeah.
Because your multiple increases as we scale together. So basically, like, this isn't what I would do, but like realistically, if you're doing $1 million and you teamed up with me, I told you I'm going to make your business 5 times bigger just by teaming up with me. I feel like you would give me a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's crazy, bro. No, that makes sense. Dude, what's the timeline on this? On like everything?
Oh, dude, this is like
Any
5 to 10. This is a 5 to 10 years. So, like, I think a lot of people want things now, and I'm very much like, I've got time. Like, I've already been doing this for 5 years. I'm okay. Like, I make the money that I need to make, which is like I pay myself like 100K a year. So I live off that, and I just reinvest everything back into Mint. But the idea is over the next 3 to 5 years, can we get as many people in the school community as possible growing to $1 million? And so I think this model that I was explaining, like it's basically a merger acquisition model. The reason why we can't do it right now is because window cleaning companies aren't worth anything. So even if I wanted to do this model right now, I couldn't do it because there's not a lot of window cleaners that have profitable businesses, that have service plans, that have systems. Like their businesses aren't worth anything. So my plan in the next 3 to 5 years is help as many window cleaners as possible get to $1 million using my exact systems. Once we have that, after that, the next like phase 2 is let's all start partnering up.
Yeah.
So it's like prep the companies in the next 3 to 5 years so we can have 100 people doing $1 million. And I think after that, the next 5 years is like, how do we figure out how we all work together and like merge? And then after that, we can either keep making a ton of money because we run profitable businesses, or we can sell the thing for 10 to 20x and we make a lot of millionaires.
Yeah. So you think you want to sell eventually?
I think it's a possibility. I want to put myself in a position where I can.
Yeah. Built to sell. Right?
Yeah, like if you don't build your business to sell, I think it's dumb because building it to sell just means that you're building a sustainable business. If it can sell, it also means that it's probably worth keeping. So,
Sure.
yeah, honestly, like my game plan with this too, like being fully transparent, and this is like so far out there, so this is such like a guess, but I do think that home service as it is, we have about another 5 to 10 years before like AI and robotics really starts taking over the industry. I think it'll be really hard for them to do that, but I do think it's possible. And I just want to position myself in the next 5 to 10 years to do one of 2 or 3 things. The first one is if everything gets taken over by AI or robotics, we can sell, get out, make money, and then go and pursue another opportunity. And that's like all of us as a team. I'm not just talking like my team. I'm talking like all the people that we've partnered with. The next thing is, are we in a spot financially, like this is another opportunity, are we in a spot financially where we can ride that next wave? Like if we're doing 50 million, we have a lot of window cleaning clients. It'd be very easy to start a robotics AI window cleaning distribution company. It'd be really easy. So like we would be the ones in position to do that. So that's the other option. And the third one is I think that there's a lot of things that you can use when there's 100 of us business owners together. We could start a WCR and compete with WCR. We could start like there's so many different businesses that we can use to leverage or like build on top of the leverage that we built. Oh, dude, crazy.
Like you guys are gonna be huge.
Hopefully. Well, I mean, do we have like hopefully we'll look this back and we'll be smart, but we have like 1,800 subs right now. So it's definitely not even crazy.
I saw you guys when you were at like 300. I think the first video I saw.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, I think we've been doing YouTube for about 8 months. But like the past 2 months have been good. Like we've seen some good traction with it, which has been cool. I think this is like a side tangent, but like one of my biggest things is I think that there's a lot of power in showing and not telling. I think there's so many people out there that just tell, and there's like this is why I'm great, this is why you should follow me, this is why you should do what I say. That's very not my vibe. Like my style is show what we do, and if you resonate with that and that works, let's work together. And so like, I don't ever want to tell someone like why what we do is great. I'd rather just show it. And if they think it's cool and want to be part of it, cool. And if they don't, cool.
100%.
So,
bro.
Anyways.
Dude, we got like 7 minutes here. Obviously, dude, like home services is a super sweet industry to be in, especially right now. Like I want to kind of see like where you think what you think's gonna happen. Like obviously you talked about this robot stuff. But like these next 5-10 years, I hear a bunch of people talking about like all the boomers and people getting out and like the opportunity. What's your whole like thoughts on that? And like what do you think? What do you think the market's gonna be like?
I think that home service is the biggest opportunity within the next 5 to 10 years. Like bigger than tech, bigger than e-commerce, I think it's bigger than all that. The reason being is because it is the hardest industry to disrupt because it's so fragmented.
What do you mean by fragmented?
Like everyone wants to create the Uber of home service.
Right.
Like the reason why Uber was able to like unite basically like you would think, but when I mean fragmented, I mean like divided, right? So before Uber, like transportation was fragmented. There's a bunch of different taxi companies, taxi drivers, all this stuff. Uber basically created a platform to then centralize transport, right?
Yeah.
Now people want to do that with home service. The reason why you can't do it with home service the way that Uber did it is because first off, driving is one thing and everyone knows how to drive. There's no training required, anything. It's just like get all the people that already know how to drive and help them make money doing it. Now the reason why you can't do that with home service is because there's so many home services. Like imagine trying to make an Uber for home service. You'd have to have window cleaners, carpet cleaners, car detailers, house cleaner. Like there's so many HVAC, electrical, plumbing, garage door. Like there's all of these services and they all require way more training than than driving, right? So first off, the training is a nightmare. Second off, there's so many different businesses that would need to be on that platform that I think a lot of people in the tech space think that they can come into home service and disrupt the home service industry by building the next Uber of home service. I don't think that it's a tech problem. I think it's a people problem.
Right.
So where I see the industry going, and if we want to, like my biggest thing, like this is our motto, is like set the standard, be the standard. Like we want to set a new standard for home service. And I think the way that you do that is you elevate the people that are in the industry and that are coming into the industry. So where I see the industry going is the people are going to start elevating themselves. I think higher level talent, well, the people that are already in the industry are going to elevate themselves, and higher level talent, what was that?
I said they're going to have to, right?
They're going to have to, because what's happening as well is a bunch of these people that are in tech, e-commerce, are seeing that home service is an amazing opportunity, and they're coming into the space. And so they're bringing their skills and their knowledge into the space. And so people either have to rise to that occasion, or they're going to have to get kicked out, and we're going to get beat out by tech people, which I think is very hard to do because I've hired a lot of guys that were in tech and they don't understand home service. So they have a disadvantage as well. But I do think like the level of talent that's going to be getting into home service is going to be rising quite a bit. And I think we're going to see a lot better brands pop up. I think we're going to see a lot better training pop up. I think software is going to, like home service CRMs are going to have to raise the bar as well. I'm honestly just really excited for it because I just think the level of talent that's going to be here is going to be great and the competition is going to be great. And I think when I first started Mint, like everyone's always like, why'd you start a home service company? I was like, because my competition isn't good. And so I know I can dominate them because it's not that hard. But you kind of get complacent with that. And so like I'd rather compete with high level talent because like it makes me elevate myself. And so anyways, that's kind of where I see it going is like everything within home services is going to be elevated within the next 5 to 10 years. And it's a fun time to be in home service.
Yeah, dude. I'm excited.
I'm stoked for it.
About like a whole race, you know?
Yeah, dude.
Like a gladiator battle. Like a bunch of
Dude, it is going to be a race to the top, dude. And I think this is why the content side is super interesting. Like you've done a great job positioning yourself as like a professional in the space, and people look up to you, especially like the younger generation. Like the guys that are 15 to 20 look up to you way more than they look up to me because I don't think I'm very relatable because I'm 28 now. But the idea is like, can we position ourselves as like the experts in the space, and then like that will bring the talent and the capital to us. Yeah. And then we can use that to dominate the industry. Because like someone has to be the leader in home service. And I'm like, and there's also like, there's the Tommy Mellos, there's like, for people in the space, there's like the Cam Boddens, and like, dude, they're geniuses. Cam Boddens, the guy that, he's friends with Tommy Mello, he grew green mango. Anyways, yeah, he's the green mango guy. Yeah. So, but I think that they're the older generation, and like they're making their money right now, but I think pretty soon there's going to be a time where they need to pass the baton down to people like us, and like we're positioning ourselves to like create that wave, which I'm really excited for.
Dude, I'm excited too, man.
Like I think we're next.
Yeah, bro, that's fire. Is there any like I want to give you the stage like final stuff, you know? anything for the guys out there, you know my audience, stuff like that? Any kind of final words here before we wrap it up?
Yeah, dude. With the young guys, the biggest thing that I would say is like great things take time.
Yeah.
And like, don't think that you're going to build $1 million business today, tomorrow, next year. Like the home service game, when I'm saying it's the biggest opportunity within the next 5 to 10 years, means that it's going to take 5 to 10 years. So like, if this is something that you want to do, it's going to take time, and that's okay. And just like be consistent and build something great over time. Like, dude, it took us 5 years to break 2 million.
Yeah.
It's like, it just takes time. Like, and I'm not that smart. I'm not smarter than anyone else. I didn't have more resources than anyone else. I didn't have daddy's money. Like, I didn't have any of this stuff. I just like did the thing, built the team, and waited 5 years. This is like, just be patient and do the thing for the young guys.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up, guys. You heard him. Yo, last question, bro. You got any books you recommend people to read that like aren't like the main, super popular entrepreneur whatever books? Like some niche books that you've read that maybe are even like super niche to home service too.
Dude, I don't know if I have any niche books. I think reading books is they should read just the 10 basic books, and then after that you just need to implement. Like I just read all the basics, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, the E-Myth Revisited. Ready, Fire, Aim is probably one that is less known, but I think is really, really good. The Ultimate Sales Machine is very good. One that I would say, Alex Hormozi recommends this book. It's really, really good. It's called The Motive. It basically explains like the role of the CEO. I think that's like the E-Myth Revisited, like 2.0. It's like for CEOs. So that one's really good. But yeah, dude, honestly, like my opinion with books is like you should read them, get the knowledge, but like almost all of them say the same thing. And so like there comes a time where you just need to implement. And so like I read all those books in my first 2-3 years. Like I don't read those books anymore. Not that I know everything and that like I have all the knowledge. It's just like I learn more now from just implementing within my business and reflecting on the experiences that I'm having that I get from books. Now I still read them, but I'm just saying like read books, read the base knowledge, and then just implement and learn from your own thing. So, but yeah, I just read the basic books, dude.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, dude, I got 3 here that I haven't read, so I'm gonna look into these. But yeah, bro, where can people find you, by the way, and how can we buy your course? I don't
want people to buy. I'm not trying to sell a course, but if they want to give me money, no. So YouTube, it's just Gatlin.McBride. Our mint page is dirty.mint. My personal Instagram, which I probably need to change to make more professional as we're scaling, is gaddy.patty. So if you want to find me on Instagram, you could do that. I'll probably get more into the Instagram space here soon, but we're more focusing on YouTube. I think YouTube is like where we put out most of our best content, so put that out there. If you're in the window cleaning space and you're doing less than $10,000 a month, join the window cleaning or the window clean tryouts. It's on School. I'm sure you can add a link or something, but basically that's where we teach everything. I think a lot of people like sell how to get to 10K a month. It's not hard to get to 10K a month, and so we just like give that for free. And then if people, once you're breaking 10K a month and you want to like learn exactly how we run Mint, it's in the window cleaning games, and we're like doing some cool things in there. I mean, Louis in it, so if anyone has any questions with it, ask Louis. It's literally just getting started. And the cool thing with that, just like side thing, is I know how to build a window cleaning company. I don't know how to build a community. So we're like very, very fresh on that. And so, I mean, you see this. It's like, dude, it's very raw in there. We're like building stuff out, and it's really cool to see the growth, but I do think it's the start of something really, really great. So if someone wants to be a part of that, window cleaning games, yeah, dude, those are all my plugs. I'm new to social media, so I don't know how to plug myself. So hopefully that was chill.
Yeah, we'll link everything down below. And guys, by the way, I'm in the games. I'm like, the closer I can get to these guys, the better for just like everything moving forward. So yeah, go check it out. We're gonna wrap this up here. Go check out Gatlin. Go follow my Instagram. Watch the other episodes. Peace, guys.
See you guys.